you guys planning on going, on the road and doing some tours and stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're trying to get an album out first.
Yeah. Yeah. There were a lot of people, since I've been with, like I was telling you with the magazine, just saying, trying to get, boy, you guys ought to get in touch with Jim Gordon. Got a lot of fans out there.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, just so it'll be good. I'm sure. When you get that together, like if you let me know, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but we can. What we'd like to do with the magazine is anytime a player's, a drummer's getting something like that going, we like to, just stick it in the magazine, let people know that such and such a band's on tour, or Jim Gordon's, got an album coming out, and that kind of thing, and.
Terrific.
Yeah, so that'll be.
I'll definitely do that.
Because that'll be.
It shouldn't be long now. We're diligently working at it.
Yeah.
Well, we're putting a lot of time in, as much as we can.
Right.
Well, recording and all that, and everybody's real serious about it. So thanks, I will.
Yeah, well, definitely. Let me with Derek and the Dominos and stuff. How did that all come about? Putting that was a great. You obviously must have loved the band.
Oh yeah, it was terrific. Yeah, it was one of the best bands I was in.
Yeah. How did that all come?
Pardon me?
I was going to say, how did that all come about? That was put together and.
Well, it was Eric's idea. We did a tour with Eric, a couple of tours when he was with Delaney and Bonnie and Friends.
Right.
And so when Delaney and Bonnie broke up, I got a call, and actually I didn't get a call from Eric. I got a call from George Harrison to go over and do his All Things Must Pass album.
Right.
Over in London. So did Carl. So did Bobby Whitlock.
Mm-hmm.
And Bobby had been over. Well, Bobby went over to write songs with Eric. He was over there earlier.
Uh-huh.
Carl and I went over to work on All Things Must Pass. And from there, we started jamming a little bit with Eric, and he asked us to be in his band.
Mm-hmm.
And so we all were living out at his house, and we rehearsed every day, and learned all these songs. Went on the road.
So it was 6 months before you guys did your first concert.
Oh, yeah, we did. We worked some clubs around England.
Right.
Little Mecca ballrooms and discotheques, things like that. And we hustle back from Eric's house and drive up and do the gig and go back and rehearse every day and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was about 6 months before we got over to doing the album down in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, we only did one tour.
Mm-hmm.
We did the album and then did the American tour before the album was released.
Mm-hmm.
Well, nobody knew who we were. And Eric didn't want his name involved in the band at all. He wanted it to be like a band.
Right.
Instead of Eric Clapton and such and such.
Did he? Yeah, he doesn't seem to be too comfortable with the fame type, aspect of it and stuff.
Yeah, he isn't actually. Well, he is. Well, he handles it very well, but I don't think he likes it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He's always saying that he's not as good as he should be, and this, that, and the other. He's very tough on himself.
Yeah.
But he's a great player.
Oh yeah, God. I mean, the guy's just. I remember seeing them with Cream. When that was such a great band.
Mm-hmm.
Man alive. How was the crowd response when you were touring with Derek and the Dominos?
They liked it very much. Everybody seemed to like it a lot.
Yeah.
We always filled the place wherever we play. We didn't play real big places. Maybe sometimes 3,500, maybe 7,000 at the most.
Uh huh.
But it was always packed. And they really liked it.
Did I know Dwayne Allman helped out a lot on the album? Did he ever tour with you guys? Did he ever perform? Like come out and do work?
He did play a couple of the dates. He almost joined the band.
Did he really?
Yeah, Eric was trying to get him to get in the band, but Dwayne decided to stick with his brother and the Allman band.
Yeah.
And so he kind of dropped out and went back to down south.
Yeah. So how
He
long?
played a lot. Recording-wise, I mean, we went to see him outdoor concert. So Tom Dad says, come on, you got to go hear this band. So we all went down and heard him. And Eric invited the band to come back to the studio after their concert. So they came back and we all started jamming. And Dwayne just, never left.
Yeah. Well, how long was that album in the making? Was that pretty quick to record?
2 weeks.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which wasn't bad.
No, I guess not. That's pretty quick. And with the live album that came out, were you pretty comfortable with that album too?
Yeah, I didn't think it was so bad. I thought it was a really good tight band, and the singing, was great. Eric's playing was fine. The tunes were all great. Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I took a big drum solo on that album.
Right.
And that was a real thrill for me.
You hadn't done a lot of soloing though, right? I mean, certainly not on a lot of the records.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I remember we were in Liverpool one night, and Eric said, "Why don't you start with a drum solo?" I said, "Oh, okay." And from then on, they just kept in the act, and I thought it was really fun. You enjoy soloing? Not really. No, I like ensemble playing actually.
Yeah.
And I think I like to fill a lot, and play around chord changes and things like that. I'm not crazy about solos. Sometimes they get redundant.
Mm-hmm.
There's some great solos out there.
Well, what do you think about when you're doing a solo? What kind of stuff do you, in a case like I guess opening a concert, it would be pretty much a free form type of a solo, just maybe before going into the song?
That only lasted a couple of days. Then we played a tune called something about I can't believe my memory is gone. It was an up-tempo, like a rock thing, a boogaloo, that they called that kind of thing.
Right.
And then they'd all stop, and I'd go into my solo. And I would try and play phrases and play the tune, more or less, and then kind of go off on some kind of tangent.
Right.
It wasn't always prepared. I like to do it like spontaneously.
Right.
I had a few things that were prepared, and but then there would be a portion of it where I try and divide the beat or do some kind of a syncopated, polyrhythmical kind of a thing around, what I'd been laid down as the basic flooring of the solo.
Right.
And then I try and get into some kind of technical thing, some type of a snare drum rudimental dexterity thing,
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess, and then go back into, back into the time and kind of work back into the tune.
Yeah, man. Who do you like to? Do you enjoy listening to drum solos? Or like any favorite guys that play solos that you really get off on?
Mm-hmm. I like Buddy Rich.
Mm-hmm.
I like Billy Collum a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing. I like drummer used to be with Black Oak, Arkansas.
Tommy Aldridge.
Pardon me?
Tommy Aldridge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's marvelous. And let's see. I used to like Tony Williams a lot. I used to go see him all the time.
Yeah.
And those guys,
Yeah, Tommy's amazing. He has no idea what he's doing.
I know. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a marvelous player.
I know. He went to. I did an interview with him for the magazine. I don't know. I think maybe about a year ago or something. And I went. It was the first time I'd seen him play. And he knocked me out. And then we were talking afterwards, and he just said that he really had no concept of what he was doing. I mean, he just was totally by ear type of a player. And I said, man, that's amazing. But
his sound is great.
Yeah. Do you think it's what am I trying to say? Like the balance between learning to play or developing an ear, developing the ability to listen, as opposed to being like a real ace reader. How do you see like a comfortable balance there?
I think developing an ear is the most important thing that you can possibly do.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you know how to read, you got to be able to interpret it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If you can't read, you got to be able to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't hear and figure out the songs and figure out what you should play on it, I mean, you're not going to be able to play.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like from your background that you kind of came up with a pretty good balance, of doing both, reading and listening a lot too.
Yeah, I listen a lot, and I always like to listen more than I do read. Actually,
mm-hmm.
Play, make up a part.
Mm-hmm.
I really find that's really fun to do.
Mm-hmm. When you were a kid and you were just learning how to play, and like we were talking about before, and you decided, hey, I'm going to go in and I'm going to be a professional drummer. Were there you ever run into a scene? This is kind of interesting, where maybe there was somebody your age, like a good friend or something, who possibly even played better than you did when you were young, but somewhere along the line that person stopped playing. Did you ever run into somebody like that?
No. Yeah, better than me?
Yeah.
Better than me and stopped playing?
Yeah.
No, never did. I've had friends that were playing with me that have stopped playing, but
mm-hmm.
I never encountered a drummer that was, no.
Why do you think that is? I mean, what do you think would make somebody want to give up being a professional player?
I don't know. No job, money, not being able to get a break.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big part of it, being at the right place, having somebody that can get you work or help you, being able to hear you.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a shame if somebody's got a talent
Right.
in music and they can't make it. I've encountered a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
I always feel sad if they have to get some other kind of job.
Well, what do you think it is? I mean, I was like, what would be the difference between, say, someone like yourself that has been successful in playing, and maybe a guy with equally the amount of talent, that maybe never seems to get the breaks, or what do you...
I don't know. I think it's a shame, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the date I did with, I hate to bring this up, with Kellner, where
Right.
he wouldn't let him play. I mean, to me, it was just plain ridiculous,
Mm-hmm.
because the guy was definitely a great player.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a shame, but if I was in that position, which at times I have been, where, nobody would listen or something, I don't think I could give up, because I can't see me doing anything else but music.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's the difference.
Have you ever thought about it? I mean, have you ever thought to yourself, oh man, I just don't want to do this anymore, and or have you ever in your life just kind of walked away from the drums? And...
Not too often.
Yeah.
Maybe once or twice, but it didn't last very long.
Yeah.
Never taken another job.
Right. Yeah.
But I've taken like a little break.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I don't want to play.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to do those. I think sometimes just if you can take just to be able to put them aside and think for a while, and
mm-hmm.
that kind of a thing.
Well, when that happened, it always went back to music. I would find myself playing around the house, or looking for some kind of job, or doing something.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think if you're going to be a musician, you're going to have to be a musician. From what may, unless you can't make any money.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever?
Starving to death.
Who did?
Pardon me? If you're starving to death, that's a different story.
Yeah. Did you ever get into teaching at all?
No, I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about it. I did a couple of seminars at a music institute here in L.A.
Did you?
Which was a lot of fun. Question and answer, and I took some charts down and showed them different ways that people write drum music in the studio.
Right.
Told them about, tried to explain the way I thought about tuning my drums and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting.
How do you do that? Do you have with tuning? You're pretty meticulous about that?
Well, I do it mostly by ear, and I was always told you're supposed to draw the sound out of the drum instead of striking the drum.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of try and play it that way.
Who had told you that? Just a teacher?
A teacher. It always worked for me.
Yeah, I guess it.
Pardon me?
I said, I guess it did.
Yeah. I don't know. Tuning was a big part of my. Is still a big part of my. I try and get that sound, that I like.
Mm-hmm. Do you like that studio sound that's out now? That flat, the dead kind of.
No, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't. I like Foreigner's sound a lot. His drum sound.
Yeah.
Spell his name. I like Van Halen's drum sound a lot.
Do you?
Remember that kid?
Yeah.
And the flat, I don't take good care for it that much. It's good. I mean, it works very well for all, for all kinds of things that are going on now. But I don't like it.
Are you ever forced to use that in the studio?
Pardon me?
Are you ever forced? Like Jim was telling me that he said a lot of times when he's in the studio, what his drums sound like is not up to him.
Yeah, that's true. Especially nowadays. I know some engineers that have their own drum set. They tune it the way they want to. They want to hear a tune, and you got to play it. And it's a little weird because it's usually flat, taped, dead, and but they get a good sound out of it. It's almost like electronic drums in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It's all done in the booth.
Mm-hmm. Are you still practicing? I mean, you still.
Oh yeah.
What kind of stuff do you find yourself, working on now?
Well, I practice with the metronome occasionally. I try and keep my stick control up, and then I try and work on new beats. I try and play as much as I can. I think is the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
I find playing in a band or rehearsing with a bunch of guys, or even just getting together in the living room and playing with the snare drum, which I do occasionally. Is good for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, I like. That's definitely a kick. You play? You ever work with brushes much anymore?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sometimes. I like brushes.
Yeah, that's kind of like a dying art,
Unfortunately, it is.
I was with Charlie Watts when the Stones were in New York, and he said as much as rock drums have contributed to the state of the art of drumming, he said that brush playing is probably the one thing that it destroyed. Man.
So, don't tell that to Shelly Mann.
Why?
He's a great brush player. Right?
Oh man, he's just a great all-around player. God, he's amazing. So what do you do? Like if you're not playing drums, what kind of stuff do you like to do to keep yourself occupied?
Oh, let's see. Well, I play my piano a little bit. I like to jog. And hang out,
Yeah.
Mostly I'm trying to play, actually, is what I try and do.
Yeah. Is there anything like goals, in your life, things that you've thought about doing that, you haven't done yet, or things you've, just wanted to maybe get into that you haven't either had a chance to do, or musically or otherwise?
I'd like to write a little bit more. I don't get to write as much as I'd like to. I'd like to find a lyricist.
Mm-hmm.
And write some songs. And get out and really enjoyable. I like to do that.
Have you tried that yet at all, or?
Oh yeah, I have. Yeah, I got a few things published, but it's just so hard to find anybody who has any lyrics these days. It seems to me, you know, they're already got their songs all done, and so you know, I just plug away and keep going over melodies and chord changes and things like that, and hopefully I'll run into somebody.
Huh. Oh, well, send them out. I'll knock. I got a whole stack of lyrics, you know.
Oh yeah.
Lyrics and tunes. Oh yeah. Geez, ton of stuff. But yeah, somehow I'll send some out to you. You know, you can scope them out. You know, you never know, right?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, definitely. You know. So, man, is there any topics you wanted to talk about? Things, you know, that you had maybe wanted to.
Gee, I can't think of anything, Scott. I really don't know. You know, I just want to keep on playing, I guess.
Yeah. How do you like the magazine? So you think we're covering some pretty good stuff, or have you seen it much?
It's a great magazine. I think it's marvelous. It beats Guitar Player, I think.
Well, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Trying to get it's an amazing thing. The drummers, and I was talking to Jim about this. I don't know what it is, but I mean, even just to take Jim as an example, you know, there's a guy that he's done so much to help out the magazine. You know, I mean, he set up like the Ringo Starr interview and the Charlie Watts interview, guys that, you know, probably and yourself, okay, the guys that you know probably we might never been able to get in touch with, you know, or it might take years and years and years, and just to have that kind of a giving thing seems there's a lot of players like that, you know.
He's really active among his peers, you know. I think that's terrific of him. I'd like to be a little more busy. I know he's connected with a couple of drum schools, and yeah, that's great. I think he's real valuable to the drumming world, I think.
Yeah. Are you still going to be doing some more seminars?
I'm not sure. There's a possibility I'm going to do one next month.
Right.
At the Guitar Institute or something. They have a drum class or something. They've asked me to possibly do one. So I told them I'd love to.
Yeah. What do you see with young players now, like common challenges that they're not things that guys are maybe not doing right now that they should be doing to become professional players?
Yeah, reading is one thing.
Really?
Yeah, I think. Well, I think that's important. And developing an ear to pick up a tune.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? To be able to be a quick learner.
Mm-hmm.
Come up with a part that's gonna work, and not have to make the rest of the band go over and over. It's like for your benefit.
Do you think that's from not listening much?
I'm sure. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not understanding music. Not listening to like changes or the melody. It's just a rhythm pattern.
Right. Yeah, there's not a lot of guys out there that play melodic instruments or, you know, second instruments.
One of the most valuable things I ever did was pick up the guitar and play rhythm guitar.
Mm-hmm.
It really helped me to understand that kind of a time field. You know, what they go through to play their rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
And also piano as a percussion instrument.
Mm-hmm. And you never found. I think maybe guys get afraid that, well, geez, you know, I'm a young guy. I'm practicing my drums and I'm having a tough enough time, you know, trying to do a double stroke roll or a press roll or something. And you know, now here's this individual, you know, suggesting I take up a whole different instrument. You know.
Well, that may be a little advanced for some people. I mean, you gotta learn your rudiments. I mean, it may be like something you have to do a little farther along after you've kind of gotten control of the instrument.
Mm-hmm.
Rudiments, I guess, starting out is the most important thing. Get a metronome, play a little bit with that.
So you went through all that, huh? All the rudiments and...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I used to come home, go to school, play my old rudiments all day long.
Man, that's amazing. And how about cymbals? I didn't talk to you on that. What kind of cymbals are you using now, and were you using back then? And
pretty much the same. I've got quite a few. I use a 22-inch Zildjian ride now, kind of a medium. I use tasty hi-hats, 12-inch. Excuse me, 14-inch.
14-inch.
Yeah. I like 15-inch crashes a lot. I got two really nice 18-inch Zildjian crashes that are pretty well matched.
Right.
That I use on stage, which I really like a lot. I've got some 16s, 17s, a couple of 18s. I got a real nice Chinese cymbal, a pasty, which is great for rural. Sounds like the ocean. And I've got a real nice 20-inch ride, which just cracked on me. I'm heartbroken about.
Sounds like Kellner talking about the cymbal with the smile, right?
Uh-huh.
Man.
I got a few half cymbals that I still try and use, too.
Half cymbals?
Well, you know, like a quarter of it's gone and it's cracking it off.
How about like stick sizes? Is that pretty important to you? Or?
Yeah, I like, well, it depends on what I'm doing. I don't like working little clubs or something like that. I like a light stick, but I mainly use Regal tips. I love Regal tip sticks. 5Bs, 5As.
Uh-huh.
I think they're great sticks.
Yeah.
And I got a few with wood tips.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the plastic tips a lot.
For the brightness and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so how big a kit? Are you still using like a 4 or 5 piece set?
Well, with this band, I'm going to use, I'm going to have like 3 rides. I have a 10, a 12, a 13, 2 16s, a regular snare, probably a couple of send drums.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. I like send drums. I got a set of those. They're really nice.
Uh-huh.
And I'm using pinstripe heads now,
Mm-hmm.
which I like very much, except use Ambassador on the snare.
Mm-hmm.
One-headed bass drum.
One-headed bass drum, yeah?
Yeah, I'd love to use 2 heads. I used to use, with the Dominos, I used 2 heads.
Right.
And I had a 26 or 24 Camco. Love that. But now I use a 22 with the blanket.
How come? Just because of the miking?
Yeah, mic.
Yeah.
And let's see, 3 crashes, a ride, possibly a 4th crash. 2 16s, a 17, and 22-inch ride. And that's about it.
Man, so that's a pretty good sized kit.
It's a nice size kit. It's not real big.
Yeah.
I'd love to play like a giant one, but I don't know where I'd play it. My music just doesn't, lend itself to that.
A Cobham deluxe set or something, huh?
Oh yeah. Play some unbelievable stuff.
Have you ever played around with the double bass?
Yeah, I did for a while.
Yeah.
In 222s. I enjoyed it. It wasn't up my alley. I'm a simpler player than that, I think.
Yeah.
I like to play a little simpler than 16th on the bass drum all the way through.
Right. How about foot pedal? What kind of foot pedal you using?
Use a Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
I like Pearl a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I got a Camco hi-hat. Thinking about a Tama, possibly.
Tama hi-hat, yeah?
Huh? They're real nice. They make good stuff. And my cymbal stands, I got a couple of Ludwigs, a couple of Yamahas. They seem to work real well.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever thought about obviously if you're playing Camco, you can't, since they're no longer made, you can't really endorse them, but have you ever been approached? Have you ever thought about endorsing any kind of a drum?
Yeah, Camco. I almost did. I went down to the new factory. I should tell you this, but I didn't want to. And at that time, I thought I was gonna play Yamaha.
Yeah.
Because I'd gone to a couple of their. They'd asked me to come in and play the drums and give them some criticisms on it.
Right.
They're real good drums too, Yamaha.
Now, there's a difference between the Yamaha drums that come out of Japan, right, and the Yamaha drums that are sold in the States, right? Isn't there?
You got me. I don't know. The ones I play come out of Japan.
I think there is. Yeah.
Well, there probably is. The ones I played had incredibly heavy rims.
Right.
And the shells were usually like 6-ply maybe, not real thick.
Mm-hmm.
But they were nice. They were a fairly airy drum, which I like. And that's what I find my Camcos are.
Mm-hmm.
They tend to breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
I always like that sound you get from a Remo white frosted skin.
Right.
Almost a little buzz to it.
Right.
Where the clear ones now, like the pinstripes and those things, just have, it's a clearer tone. There's not that air in there.
Right.
But recording-wise, they sound good, these pinstripes.
Yeah, they definitely sound. You know who designed that? You know, the Camcos. I just found this out. Or the guy that was the head engineer was the guy who was also the head engineer for Leedy drums.
Really?
Yeah. I was talking with a guy named Charlie Donnelly in Connecticut, and Ron Spignardi, the editor-publisher, we were kicking around, like whatever happened to Leedy drums. You know, they were such a big drum company, right? And so Charlie Donnelly had told me that, like back in the 20s or whatever, it was a big company, and then they went into partnership with Ludwig. And when they did that, the guy that was the head designer for, I think this was in the 50s, if I'm not mistaken, who was the head designer for Camco, was fired for Leedy, and then he in turn went over and ended up eventually, working on Camco drums and helping them design them.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
They were great drums when they made them back east.
Yeah.
The Leedys were fine too. I remember Leedys.
Yeah.
No longer around, are they?
Well, what happened then was Ludwig, the partnership dissolved, right? And then that's when they started making WFL drums, right? And then Slingerland bought Leedy, and in the '60s, the early '60s, and they never really advertised them. It was like they bought them, and by law, I think they had to keep the company for 5 years, but they never really promoted them. And at the end of 5 years, that was it. So
no longer, huh?
No, Charlie Donnelly bought up all the old Leedy hardware that Slingerland had, all the lugs, and they're all like brass lugs and stuff like that, He's got all that stuff up in Connecticut now,
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So.
Well, I think the Japanese are making great drums.
I know. It bothers me. I don't know why the Americans don't get their act together,
Well, they were too busy making money.
God. Yeah. Do you ever play Gretsch?
Pardon me?
Do you ever play Gretsch drums?
I sat in on Gretsch drums. I like them. They're okay. They're a little light for me.
Really? Even more so than like the Ludwigs?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
They're, I don't know, they're hollower sounding to me.
Right.
Of course, I haven't had that much experience on Gretsch, but I find the Ludwigs, tend to have get like a little more deep timbre out of them than you can with Gretsch.
Right. Yeah. Man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I understand the sound, Yeah. One thing I wanted to just get this kind of off the track. I do this from time to time. From being all through your career, all the different great players and so forth that you were able to work with, what were these guys able to help you at all in terms of just being able to associate with musicians of that caliber? As far as musically, just all around, just.
Absolutely, yeah. Spiritually and yeah.
Uh huh.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think you somebody that's reached a status like some of these people have, and they're really very responsible people, you know, and they seem to be very caring and concerned about other people.
Mm-hmm.
I found it real rewarding to work with people like that.
Was it a tough adjustment when you started going from Jim Gordon, studio player,